Hello, and welcome to part 3 of the 0361 Practice Test 3 review. We left off on trying to find slope of a line, and the number one way to get the slope of a line is to get y alone. But notice in question 21, y is not alone, so we got to make it alone. So that means anything that's not y has to move. This means we're going to have to subtract 3x first. And when you do, you get negative 5y equals negative 3x plus 10. Okay, the last step is to divide everything by negative 5, and I mean everything. So what you're going to get is this: y equals positive 3 over 5x minus 2. So, good news. Our goal was to get y alone, and y is alone. So that means whoever's in front of x, that is our slope. So it appears that the slope is 3 over 5. Let's do the same thing for question 22. Again, y is not alone yet, so I got to make it alone. And to do that, let's subtract x. So 2y equals to negative x plus 8. Okay, now divide everything by 2. So when you do, you get y equals to negative x over 2 plus 4. Now notice that there's nothing in front of x. Well, there technically is something. It happens to be 1. So that means the slope in this case is negative 1/2, negative 1 over 2. Okay, so for 23, they'd like us to find the slope of the line that's parallel and perpendicular to the line through the pair of points. One thing at a time. Let's just do parallel first. Finding the slope of a parallel line is the exact same way as finding slope, because the word parallel means same slope. So all we're going to do is subtract the y's, subtract the x's, and divide. Y's go first. So we're going to do 1 minus negative 3, which is 4. Then we'll do negative 2 minus 4, which is negative 6. And then 4 over negative 6 does reduce. It becomes negative 2/3. So that is parallel. Okay. In order to answer perpendicular, you have to get parallel first. Perpendicular means opposite sign and flipped. Opposite, flipped. It's a lot easier to show than explain, so let me show you. Do you see how parallel is negative? Not anymore. Perpendicular is positive. And do you see how parallel is 2 over 3? Perpendicular is going to be positive 3 over 2. So notice how the signs changed and it turned upside down. That's what this means. That's what perpendicular means. Okay, 24. Let's do the same thing. The y's are 5, so 5 minus 5 is 0. And then the x's. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. But 0 divides anything is always 0. So the slope is 0. So parallel is 0. Okay, so originally we had 0 over negative 6 for parallel, which reduces to 0. If you were to write perpendicular, that would be positive 6 over 0. But wait a minute. Anytime you have a fraction with 0 in the bottom, the answer is always undefined. And that's your answer for perpendicular, undefined. 25, same thing. So, subtract the y's. First, 3 minus 7 is negative 4. Alright. Then negative 4 minus negative 4, that is going to be actually 0. But any number divides 0 is always undefined. So parallel is undefined. Now perpendicular. If you were to turn this upside down, flip it over, and change the sign, you would get positive 0 over 4. But anytime you have a 0 on top, the answer is automatic 0. Okay, very good. So, 26. They want to know if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Before we can answer any question, we have to get the slope. And when you're dealing with equations like this, whoever is in front of x, you got to get y alone, because whoever is in front of x will be the slope. So looking at this, I see 5 over 2 and negative 2 over 5. It's not parallel because parallel means the slopes have to be exactly the same, and the answers are not exactly the same. But notice this. They have different signs. They're flipped over one another. 5 over 2 against 2 over 5. That is the definition of perpendicular. Alright, 27 is kind of a trick question. They want us to find the equation of a line parallel to y equals 3 over 2. So parallel means the same, so what they're asking for is, what is y? Well, y is 5. Done. I know, it seems incomplete, but that's what it is. 28. 28 is going to be kind of long. They want us to find an equation of a line. And they want us to write it in standard form. That's what ax plus by equals c means. So there's a lot of steps to this. So one step at a time. First, we have to find the slope. Good news, they told us. Second, they have to give us some points. They did, they're right here. So we're going to use something called the point slope equation. Let me write that down. Goes y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. x1 and y1 are the points that's given, and slope is, well, slope m is the slope. So let's see. We're going to have y minus 9 equals negative 3 over 2 parentheses x minus negative 4. Well, really quick, two negatives are going to form one plus, a positive. And then negative 3 over 2 can distribute. So you're going to get y minus 9 equals negative 3 over 2x. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Negative 12 divided 2 is negative 6, minus 6. Okay. And then the next step is to add 9 to both sides to get y alone. So what you get is y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 3. Technically, this is the answer. It's the answer in slope-intercept form. And some instructors might be okay with this. You're going to have to ask them if they are. However, the instructions did say write it in ax plus by equals c form. What that means is all the letters have to move to the same side. So, if your instructor does want ax plus by equals c form, here's where to go. First, all of this must move to the other side, and that can be accomplished by adding 3 over 2x to both sides. As a result, you get 3 over 2x plus y equals 3. And then ax plus by equals c form means no fractions. we got to get rid of the fractions. The easiest way to get rid of the fraction is to multiply whatever's in the bottom. So I see a 2 on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply by 2, which is fine as long as I multiply everybody by 2. 2 times 3 is 6, but 6 divided 2 is back to 3, so 3x. 2y is 2y. 3 times 2 is 6. That's the form that the question is asking. Okay, 29 would like us to find the equation of a line. You'll notice that they gave us 2 points, but also notice what they did not give us. They did not give us the slope. We have to get the slope. That's number 1. So, let's find the slope. And remember, we're just going to subtract the y's and subtract the x's. So, we're going to do 5 minus 2, which is 3. Then we're going to do 4 minus 3, which is 1. And 3 divided 1 is equal to 3. That's our slope. Okay, next we can use our point slope formula that we did last time. We now know that the slope is 3, so we got that. Now, you do have 2 choices for x and y, and here's the good news. You can use either one. It doesn't matter which one you decide. I like 3 and 2. The numbers are smaller. So, it's going to go y minus 2 equals to 3 parentheses x minus 3. Let's solve. 3 can distribute, so 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 3, that's going to be 9. And then from here I'll add 2. So what you get is y equals to 3x minus 7. Okay. Again, this is slope-intercept form, and technically that is a good answer. But if they want ax plus by equals c, we got to get it to that form. So all letters have to go to the same side. So what I like to do is start by subtracting 3x on both sides. So you get negative 3x plus y equals negative 7. Looks pretty good, but there is one more step to this. Standard form also wants the first letter, x, to be positive. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to multiply everything by negative 1. Multiplying by negative 1 changes everybody's sign. So negative 1 times negative 3 is now positive 3x. Negative 1 times y is now negative y. And negative 7 times negative 1 is positive 7. That's what they're looking for. Alright, well, 30 is going to be pretty easy. In number 30, you'll notice that they're just asking how many buses were manufactured in April. Well, April's right here. And if I draw a line, it looks like 1,200. That's that. So, that concludes our 0361 Test 3 review. If you have any questions, please stop by the Math Resource Center in room ESEE 1319, and we'll answer your questions. Otherwise, good luck and tune in for Practice Test 4. Thank you.